I don't know if a lot of women know this, but um, men's ball sacks are kind of like it's like a different skin. It's like elbow skin. I, and that was the best way that I could explain it because if you think about it like this, and any dudes out there listening, they know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? And what I'm talking about is there's a reason why we have to, as men, there's just some itches on our ball sacks that we can't itch unless we pinch the testicle skin and do like a little roll, like a little finger roll of like, if you pick your nose and you get a nice clobber and then you fucking roll it up and flick it, that little rolling motion is how men have to itch their nutsack sometimes. Like a normal itch with a nail doesn't work. And that's because the skin is different. So like we were laying in bed and we're just like kind of laying on our side and we're talking and stuff and we're kind of touching, and I don't know how it came up, but like she was like touching my balls and I had an itch or something and I was like twisting it, and then I told her like, you know why we have to twist our nuts, and then I went into the spiel, and to my surprise, she had no clue that ball sacks felt like the elbow skin. Like, and what I mean by that, women, if you're listening, you take the elbow skin, give it a nice little pinch. You don't really feel it. There's no like, it doesn't hurt like a normal pinch. Like if you pinch another part of your arm, you can feel it and it hurts. But like if you pinch the elbow skin, it just doesn't do anything. Your weenus right there. And she didn't know that. So I let her pinch my nutsack as hard as she could. And she was fucking wrenching, like trying to like pierce my nutsack with her fingernails almost. Well, she wasn't using her fingernails, but like her skin, like her fingertips. She was going, and she was so amazed. Like her face was as though she just saw like the Holy Grail. Like she was in the Amazon rainforest for months at a time, hiking this perilous journey where she had to go through the rainforest and climb through freaking piranha infested waters, and she saw a jaguar and I mean all kinds of shit. And then finally at the very end, she sees this monument, this monolith of this giant old tribesmen, and she walks up to it, and there's this door she goes into, like this old rock, this huge boulder that she has to push over to the side. She goes in, she walks in, and she's sitting there shining golden heavenly light, and you hear angelic sounds playing in the background, and she feasts her eyes on the Holy Grail. But instead, this was her realizing that she could pinch my testicle skin as hard as she wanted to, and I can't feel it. So that was pretty interesting. So if you're a lady out there and you're listening, ask your dudes, hey, let me pinch your nutsack. See if you can feel it. Because maybe it's just me. Maybe I have like an atomic nutsack or something. I'm not sure. But for some reason, I think it's every dude. I've never tried to pinch another dude's nutsack that way. I should probably ask my friends and see if any of them can do that too. Because I'm pretty sure it's just like a known thing in the men community. Like every dude just kind of knows like your nutsack is like a different skin, so you have to pinch it or whatever like that. But I mean, you can pinch it as hard as you want, but you have to do that rolling motion. So if you take your elbow and you give it a little pinch and then you roll it, you can feel it better. And that's my nutsack. So next time you're touching your elbows out there, ladies, or give it a nice little flick, just imagine that's my nutsack right there. People basically have nutsacks on their elbows. It's insane. So, like, I think that was one of God's little funny secrets or tricks where he's like, I'm going to put the same skin that I make on the dude's nuts. Or what if he was like going through the line of people and he just had like, because of the shape, like he's printing out the nutsack skin. He's like, well, this skin's got to be different because, it's going to be covering the testicles. The testicles are very important for life, and we need the balls to be secure and safe. So we're going to take this skin here that doesn't feel much of anything, and we're going to use this skin. And all the workers and the angels were like, okay, let's do it. And then, he has to cut like a heart shape out of this square. They since they're making it on an assembly line, they have to use the skin in like squares. So they have to cut this heart shape out, and the heart shape skin, nut sack skin, is what's used for the sack when he puts it on us. But then he has this excess skin left over, just kind of around the heart shape that you have to cut out for the nut sack shape. And he's like, some angel's like, sir, what do we do with this excess skin? I know, you're an environmentalist. You don't want to, overuse things. You don't want to just waste stuff. You want to use things. So what should we do with this, God? And God's like, cover up the joint in the middle of their arm with it. Boom. Boom. You see that joint right there? This one? Nutsack skin. Boom on there. That's literally what I think happened. But yeah, so that was pretty fun. It's pretty interesting to know that she did not know that. And it's crazy. I mean, we've been together for, it's 2022, for 12 years. And I have never told her that my nutsack is basically indestructible. My nutsack is basically that steel that Captain America's shield is made out of. And what is it called? I can't think of the word. If I had somebody to ask, it would be cool, but I can't. But yeah, that was the nutsack skin. That's my skin. Drink break.